Hey footy fans, welcome back to PommyInOz. I am PommyInOz, your one-stop shop for all things AFL, delivered in a weird accent that might be unfamiliar with the game. 2025 is season starting at round 1, which you should do, because you count from 1, you don't count from 0. Some cracking matchups this week, so grab your centre cuppa, get your favourite blanket, dust off that rocking chair. Let's play the intro and get into this week's tips. Doing things a bit differently this year, we're going to be giving you what is hopefully under 2-minute preview for every game and my tips. So follow along, it'll be good fun. And we start today, 7:30. I will be live for this one, MCG, Richmond, Carlton. The season kicks off with the classic showdown. Richmond's talisman, godfather of the forward line, they're calling him, Tommy Lynch. He returns to the starting lineup after a rough trot, it has to be said. With injuries, it's like seeing your old mate return after the pub after a long absence. It's heartwarming, it's full of promise, but is he paying for the first round? Adam Uze has thrown in some young guns. Sam Layla, Harry Armstrong, Luke Traynor are all into the mix, signalling a fresh chapter for the Tigers as they look to rebuild and find the glorious heights that the AFL is. On the other side, though, Carlton's Jack Silvani returns after 600 days away from the AFL game. Talk about comeback. It's like waiting for the bus at work and 3 come at once while you're running 20 minutes late. And the debuts come thick and fast. Francis Evans and Lucas Camparelli join the fold with Nick Haynes roped in from GWS to bolster the backline. Given the new defence for the Blues, given the blend of experience now they've got versus the inexperience of the Tigers, I'm tipping the Blue Boys get the job done. 65 points. Then we move Friday, nighttime, 7:40 at the G as well. Hawthorn play Essendon. Friday night lights. The Hawks squaring off, coming off a very solid pre-season and a very impressive win versus the Sydney Swans last week. They look sharper than a butcher's knife at the minute, and Will Day has already been given the Brownlow by some, with some comparing his movement to some legends of the game and saying that he's about to break out. Essendon, meanwhile, introducing the dynamic duo that a lot of hopes at Tullamarine will pin on. Isaac Keiko and Nate Caddy. They do look very good as a combination, touted as the Bombers' saviours, but there's a lot of pressure on a lot of young shoulders there. It's going to be asking a couple of rookies, isn't it? It's like asking your 2 kids to carry a piano up the stairs. Let's hope they don't drop it, because it'll be curtains. But I'm backing the Hawks in this one. 29 points. Let me know what you think of that one. We head on over. The Cats host the Dockers at Cardinia Park. 15th of March, 1:20, and it's a post-Hawkins era. Cameron is now the main man, which he probably has been for the last 3 years. They've got some young guns, though, putting their hands up at Geelong, and Bailey Smith, obviously, is their big summer recruit, ready to fill big shoes and keep the good times up at Geelong going. Shai Bolton is missing this one, though. He's got a dicky leg. Without him, it does feel like you're trying to push excrement uphill. It's got to be said, he is the flair in class that forward line needs. His absence, I feel, tips the scales in the Cats' favour. So I am tipping the Geelong Cats to tip this one by 13 points, as they say, over in Ireland. In the afternoon, the mid-afternoon fixture, an awkward fixture, I find. At the SCG, the Sydney Swans begin their horrific campaign. It has to be said. They take on the Lions. Missing a couple of key players, Errol Goulden, captain Callum Mills. It's like going to a gunfight, really, with a cheese block. It's not ideal, is it? Brisbane got their own headaches, though. Joe Danaher, he retired. They've had to replace him with Sam Day and maybe some point gaps. But it has to be said, in pre-season, they looked like they negated it pretty well. They look like a strong side. I think this is going to be tighter than a frog's bomb, this one, but I'm going to back Sydney to squeak in by 6 points. Magpies, 7:35. We're live for this game as well at the MCG. This one is an exciting one. The forward line has had a real makeover at Magpies. McStay, Majacek, Membry. It's like shut, but it does feel at times like you've just polished your granddad's 1980s larder estate, innit? It feels like it's still not quite there, and last week was incredibly disappointing by the Magpies. Port Adelaide, though, they've had some swift changes. Dan Houston will be debuting for Collingwood. He left them. The new makeshift forward line, it does look exciting. Ken Hinckley's last year. It's a real intriguing one, this one. Although Port Adelaide have had recent good form against them, just got a feeling that the tables will turn in this one. The Magpies will get off to a good start. But a tight encounter, 3 points, the Magpies. Doggies go up against the Roos at Docklands in that evening as well. Bontempelli, Trelaw, all out. It's about as welcome as flatulence in an elevator. North, they've added some experience, haven't they? Caleb Daniel, Jack Darling, Luke Parker. But it does feel like you've just put salt on a vegetable stew. It's made it a little bit more interesting, but do you trust it over a good stout beef one? Despite these challenges for the Dogs, I still think there'll be too much. I'm tipping the Dogs here to win a tight one by 22 points. Then we're live for this game as well in the Arvo. Adelaide Crows, St Kilda. After what will be really an intriguing game, isn't it? They're 7 years without finals at Adelaide. It feels like a long time. They're desperate to get back. They've always been touted as one of the good sides to do it. Matty Nix has really grafted hard. They've brought in some real good staples. Neil Bullen, Cumming, Peatling. They've really added gravy to chips. It just makes everything better. St Kilda, on the other hand, questionable decisions for mine in the drafts when what they needed. It does feel like at the minute, with a few of their injuries and how the team played last week, it felt like they were holding cards in a wind tunnel. They need the young guns to step up. They really need to make sure that they iron on their ball use and their defensive rigidity. It's going to be a real interesting one, but I do feel like it's asking a cat to bark. It's not going to happen. I'm tipping the Crows here, as much as I love the Saints, 19 points. Then we head over MCG, 3:20 on the Sunday. Melbourne Demons hosting the Giants after their fantastic opening performance, the Giants, in round one. There's been a few off-field dramas, cultural mind shifts, mindset gurus coming in. It's all well and good, but, you know, as my pop used to say, you can polish your turd, but it's still a turd. It's time to see if these make a difference, I feel. GWS is coming off a blinder, like we say, 52 points against Collingwood. Finn Callaghan, another Brownlow favourite after one game. He looked mighty good. Dangerous, really. Dangerous. It was like giving my kids, when they were toddlers, a permanent marker. It looked good. This one's set to be a cracker, but I am tipping Melbourne to make good of their pre-season form, win this one by 8 points. Then, Sunday evening, rounding out the round, the Eagles take on Gold Coast in Perth. West Coast got new coach, McQuarter. They've got fresh faces, Baker, Graham, Matty Owies. They look like they're turning things on. It was a poor year last year, but is it a bit like trying to turn a cruise ship? It's slow, but it does take a bit of effort. Gold Coast historically struggled early doors, but I am cheekily selecting the Suns here. A lot has been made of them. I'm tipping them by 7 points. Do they make finals? A lot of questions to be asked. There you have it, folks. Round one. All served up. Let's get into it. 0-2 for me last week. So take what I say with a grain of salt that you put on chips. Let me know your tips. Make sure you join the tipping comp. Link is in the description for that. And until next time, I'll see you tonight. Richmond versus Carlton. Keep an eye on the footy. Keep the pie warm. Pommy out.